The Britf Saga. Prologue. Gather friends, come listen to our tale of the Tards in a land where potato chips are called crisps and fries are called chips. Where the men are giants and the women are also giants. I learned the horror of the Tards. Be me, Britf. Be 14, middle of secondary school, high school for all of you colonials and outsiders. Be only slightly autistic. Be branded special by the system. Fuck the system. Use Tard privilege anyway. hackingtards.exe. I'm in. Be afflicted with the aughts enough to get all of the privilege of a Tard. Be not affiliated enough to be considered a Tard by the normies. Perform recon on the Tard HQ. Tard HQ is tarded, but peaceful. Study Tards from a distance. Tards are actually quite civil in this school. Most are just a bit aspy and afflicted with the aughts. Life is good. Life is quiet. Get invited around one of the normal fags' houses to play video games. Agree to that shit like a normie. Contact parentals to inform them of the instance, and exempt myself from presence on the Tard bus. It's a free ride back home, and I was lucky enough to be placed with the tamer of the autists. Meet up with normal Britfag friends after school. Make our way to the other end of the small village the school was built near. Get gummy bears on the way. Yummy yummy in my tummy. Share with normal friends because why the fuck not? Get to the other side of the village just in time for the parade. A bit of information in regards to my school and the area surrounding it. The school I attended was on a hill just beneath a small village, one of many that dotted the edge of the city. If you could imagine a modest city surrounded by clusters of hobbit holes like the Shire from the Lord of the Rings / Hobbit series, then you'll know exactly what I mean. The other school that will be mentioned very shortly was on the exact opposite side. This made for an effective barrier between the two. The true Tards would have to pass through the village, and even then, the people that lived there didn't tolerate their shit, and the local constabulary forces would intercept any straggling Tards and deliver them back to their reluctant custodians. Let's continue with the green text now, shall we? We made it to the other side of the village. The bus my normie friend takes doesn't stop outside our school. Instead, it stops outside what I have come to refer to as the HMP Spud Farm. My fucking god. There were hundreds of Aspies, Tards, Downies, and all other breeds of abominations pouring out of the gates to the Spud Farm. 'Twas as though the ass end of hell had opened up to shit out the lowliest dregs of its unholy machinations. Even though we stood our distance, the smell alone was as though God had not just abandoned and forsaken us, but was angry with us. Do you think God remains in heaven because he hates us? .png. Stand there and keck with normie friends at the abominations, before taking a deep breath and marching to our dooms. The Britf Saga Chapter 1, First Contact. Previously on Britfag, we introduced you to the low-key autist that was myself at the age of 13 or 14 years old, and laid a vague idea of the scene in which this story took place, leaving off as our bold heroes, who will be referred to hereafter as Britfag, Lad, the Beaver, and Patient Zero, for obvious reasons. And now, the continuation. Be me, still Britfag, walking to the collective dooms of myself and the others as we walk closer to the Abomination congregation. The Abominations turn the opposite direction for the most part. Wait, what? .gif? Notice they have their own Tard buses. Good. .jpg. Still a few stray Tards waddling towards the bus stop. Bad. .jpg. Continue to evenly divide the gummy bears between me and my faggy British broskies. Lad cracks a joke about the Tards. Patient Zero, Beaver, and myself cack at said joke. A wild Tard appears. The smell alone heralded a champion of Nurgle. Wild Tard is silent, but seething with retardation and greed. Wild Tard attempts to grasp at the bag of gummy bears with its stumpy fingers. I move the bag out of its reach. The fucking noise this thing makes. It's like a mix between the death rattle of a zombie and the squeal of a petulant toddler. Patient Zero tells the Spud to fuck off. Tard looks shocked. Tard looks drooly. Tard protocols activated. Check target equals sweets. Check acquire equals null. Objective failed, initializing Tard rage. Tard flips its shit and proceeds to screech in some poor imitation of Rumor Raptor. Tard rams Patient Zero into a wall and proceeds to pummel him. Patient Zero covers himself. Oh hell no.exe. Being my autistic self, I signed up for karate lessons because back then I thought it was a cool ting. Surprisingly good at it back then. Not sure if I am now. Probably not. Don't be me now, be me back then. Proceed to rip the aggressive Spud off of Patient Zero. Patient Zero is pretty banged up. All kinds of grody shit on him. The smell isn't coming off of his clothes anytime soon. Tard's rage is now turned to me. Fuckmylife.gif. Be me, now wrestling with a raging ball of excess chromosomes. Got the Spud at an arm's distance as it tries to run into me. Remember what I learned from watching Karate Kid before I took lessons. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Punt this Spud in his spuds. We weren't prepared for what happened next. This Spud hits the floor like a ton of bricks and screams. It was on this day that I believe my hearing began to degrade. Either that or I really need to clean my ears. Everyone's shielding themselves in pain. What dark god do you serve, heretic? The bus arrives. Quick, get to the chopper! Pay our fares and ascend to the upper floors as the Spud is swarmed by the rest of his unholy ilk. Ride out of there fast. Assess Patient Zero's condition. Bad news beans. The bag. It's gone. The Tard ripped Patient Zero's bag from his back in the ensuing chaos. Patient Zero begins losing his shit, as everything he had, spare for his wallet and phone, was in there. This will not stand.jpg. Eventually arrive at Lad's house. Lad's mom. I have seen Valhalla, and looked upon the face of a Valkyrie. 9 out of 10 MILF, Aryan blonde hair and blue eyes, hips that belie her MILF status, tits that could nurse triplets. I introduce myself. Lad's mom instantly notices how fucked up and pissed Patient Zero is. Motherinstincts.exe. Patient Zero spends the next 5 minutes being taken care of by this goddess-given flesh. Lad is mad. Beaver is angry. Britf is bamboozled. Eventually, Patient Zero returns to the mortal realm. Lad and the lads are pissed. Eventually unload our bags, except Patient Zero. Press F to pay respects for our brother's forsaken satchel. Mornit's passing with video games. Lad is, yet again, a total lad, has a GameCube with Smash Bros. Oh yes.gif. Spend the rest of the afternoon playing Smash with the lads. Smash them all because this game was all I ever played back then. Eventually switch to Lad's PS2 and play some Need for Speed. Pretty good at it, not as good as Lad though. End the afternoon with a brotherly goodbye. Fist bumps and manshakes all around. Swear vengeance upon the Tards. Vow the return of Patient Zero's bag, and return home to plot said revenge. The Britf Saga Chapter 2. Revenge as a dish best served mashed, with a side of tendies. Be me. Still British, still faggy. Be awakened the next morning to the sound of my parentals summoning me. Remember the plan. A little bit of OOG out of green text exposition for you. Back then we used stuff like MSN Messenger, fuck me, I feel old just for saying that, to keep in touch, and webcams were diarrhea dog dookie. Lad and the lads, including Patient Zero, bless his soul, and may he live a long and fruitful life till his dying days, gave me their contacts, and we got to talking. Plan A. Group up at the usual meeting spot on the other side of the village. Play a game of Spot the Tard. Rush him, boys. Mash this Spud shit something fierce. Find the bag, take it back, burn the bag after. Be me, fuck that. Plan, rush B. Get to school, go in. Wait for the tard bus and tard guards to move out. Sneak back out. Book it to the other school. Locate tard. Target acquired.gif. I'm not reading that. Mob the tard as it comes down the road. Patient Zero's bag and his own in tow. Yoink.exe. Get the fuck out like Batman, sprint down the back alleys and give it the slip. Take the open field between the village and my school back. Duck into the woods nearby, assess the damage. Good fucking God. This bag is trashed. This tard, from what I could understand and speculate upon, did not let go of this bag after he got a hold of it. The fabric was ripped up, it was drenched, no doubt by the rain, but also by his slobber, sweat, likely his piss, too. Drop the bag. Scream a little at the thought of its warped taint being on my skin. Take out a tissue and pick up the bag. Go back to school, go to the bathroom. Sanitize till I bleed, scald the flesh. Already late for class. Don't get detention because tard privileges. Autistic bro from the tard bus has my back. Let me copy his notes. New autist bro will be referred to hereafter as the drummer boy. Back to the bathroom though. Open up Patient Zero's bag, wearing rubber gloves, and assess the damage. Patient Zero had a Game Boy. Check the Game Boy. Had Pokemon Ruby in it. No save. Fuck. The tard touched the Game Boy. It touched the save file. Patient Zero will be furious. Go to locker and stow the bag until I have more time to work. Make mental note to buy spray bleach after this is dealt with. Link up with Lad in double chem. The package has been secured. Agree to meet up behind the gym supply shed at lunch. Be Heisenberg and Jesse for the next 2 hours. Who the fuck are they? This is 2004. Meet up with Beaver, Patient Zero, and some other guys they knew. Other normies were friendly, talking about music and other normie shit. Patient Zero asks why we were called here. Reveal his ruined bag. The group falls silent as I set it down and open it. Relay the autopsy report. Recount the damage done to the bag and its contents. Patient Zero asks how the hell I got it back. Recount the process in which I retrieved the bag to them. Recount how I recounted how I retrieved the bag to you guys. Don't be me now. Be me back then. Patient Zero is pissed, but grateful. New Nignog kid with thick Jamaican accent says something about bustin' dem batty boys. Agree with the stereotypically comical representation of the Afro community out of confusion. Too British for this. .gif. New Nignog, who will be called Reggae Reggie Sauce, and fellow not-tarded nerd, Britfag 2 Electric Boogaloo, join the war effort. Avengers Assemble. .exe. Spend lunch behind the shed, cleaning off as much of the bag's contents as possible. The bag cannot be saved. Patient Zero mad that his save got fucked. Promise to trade him some baller Pokemon to speed him through the game. A few hours later. .png. Get kicked out of school for the day with the rest of the Avengers. Go to the fields at the back of the school. Hold a cremation for Patient Zero's bag. Play My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion from my phone. Other guys look at me like I'm a fag. Zero fucks given, this was a funeral. Head for the bus stop as usual. Reggae Reggie Sauce and B2 break away from the pack, take the bus outside our school. Get to the bus stop. Hey you guys! Begrudgingly turn to face the abominations. You hurt Billy! I hurt you! The size of this potato. I am in awe of this absolute unit. Not really, though. Giant Spud rolls towards us at Mach 10. The hardest choices require the strongest of wills. Shove Lad and the rest of the lads out of the way. Get knocked down by the Sputternut. Gay, you follow boo! Thankfully, my coat was waterproof and my hood was up. Why do we fall? .png. So we learn to pick ourselves up. .exe. Sputternut calls over even more of his sputty friends. We're outnumbered. In gym, we spent most of the time catching glimpses of all the Stacy's asses while they rehearsed their cheers. Notice how they interlock their hands and launch each other into the air. Lightbulb.gif. Turn to Beaver and Patient Zero. Springboard. Turn back to the Chromosome Crusaders. What's that over there? Every spud nearby looks the other way. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Beaver and Patient Zero fling me at the Cabbage Patch Kids and their leader. Captain Cran Muncher turns around. Roundhouse kick straight to the jaw. Crunch. Stick the landing. 10 out of 10 would do again. Patient Zero and Beaver are cheering. Spudzilla is down. Tards are confused. Tards are scared. Tards waddle away. Get on the bus before anyone notices I knocked a few more chromosomes out of this gigatard. Spend an hour in town helping Patient Zero get a new bag, get fish and chips, then go home. Get home, do homework, video games, chat with the lads. Lad told everyone what happened. 10 new friend requests. Fuckme.gif. Getting tired, say see ya to new friends and the lads. Go to sleep. The war has begun. The Britf Saga Chapter 3. Brace yourself, retards are coming. As I sit here in the recliner I stole from a deceased neighbor's front yard, coming down from a bout of black rage at having to slog through the stereotypically grim British weather, I am reminded of the next significant tale of tard shittery that I and my brethren had to suffer through. So gather around and allow me to regale you with another tale of the British Tard War. Be me, be me, Britfag. A couple months after Chapter 2, things got quiet with the Tards after the almighty battle between Gigatard and yours truly. Big cold as fuck, wearing way too many layers. Winter has come. Be sent home early because teachers cannot get up the hill. Keck at teachers and their feeble older bodies. Tell parents, let them know I'll be spending the day with comrades in the snow. Spend an hour or two in the village with the lads. Reggae Reggie and B2 are there too. Snowball fights, snow angels, make a snowman, give him a carrot for a cock. 0 fucks given, many cakes had. It was a good morning to be a Britfag. Realize that if cars can't get up the hill, then neither can the buses. Fuck. Avengers are stranded in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. See cheap plastic sleds outside a hardware store. Instant idea. Pull together cash for sleds, everyone gets one. Eat our plastic undersides, Snow. Put sled under my bag and carry it like a smart Britfag. The sound of a whee can be heard over the street. Who the fuck let the Tards out? Rush B again, Avengers assemble. Get to the Tard hive. Holy shit. The gates are shut. Looks like something out of World War Z, but even more retarded. Thousands of fuckers stood screeching and making their degenerate battle cries heard by the village. Don't be me, be reggae. Get a spicy idea. Pelt a snowball at the Tards. Make a huge one. Tactical nuke incoming.mp3. Huge snow bomb is launched. Hits a cluster of Tards from above. Their reactions are worthy of legend. Gigatard was among the cluster we hit. So was Buey. Tards lose their shit, start wailing on each other. Whole thing cascades out among the swarm. It's like watching a black hole collapse in on itself. You want to look away, but it's just too distracting. Don't be reggae, be the Britfag. Congratulate reggae on his successful attack. Move that the squad bounce. Squad is in agreement. Bounce on them sleds. Jinglebells.gif. Eventually reach the bottom of the hill and walk into town. Enjoy bacon and sausage footlong with the lads. Take part in huge intercollegiate snowball fight with elder entities, college and university students. Return to the safety of a local clothing store and look for fun articles of said merchandise to wear beyond the gates of our school. Encounter a couple of new lady friends while there, both Stacy's, both 6 out of 10. Be chill, be chilly. Stacy's feel sympathetic to the cold Britfag's plight. Tell them about the Tards. Stacy's keck at what would be an epic tale. Cute Asian Stacy, who will be referred to as Stacy-chan, gives me her number. Asks me to call her sometime. Winning.gif. Hang around with the Stacys for a few more minutes before excusing myself to return to the squad. Lad and the lads noticed that I was with the Stacys. Show them the number. Superhotfire.gif. Return to Reggie's for an epic Halo tournament. Spend a few hours bossing it among my brethren. Eventually call it quits for the day, as it was going to be a long journey back. Bid farewell until later online. Be me an hour later. Riding down the snow-blanketed hills as though the spirit of Lamen Rus was within. Ave Imperator.png. See something in the snow. Turn that shit around. Twist the sled sideways and bail, pick that shit up. Be me, be knee-deep in snow. It has awakened. The most grotesquely deformed Downy kid I've ever seen rises out of the snow. It heard the rumbling of the ground above. Recognize it from a couple of months ago. Despite what most would have you believe, tards have the memory of an elephant when it comes to its targets. This motherfucker looks like some kind of SCP. New hostile abomination identified. Cthulhu-some. Cthulhu-some garbles something in its own tongue. Cthulhu-some is clearly pissed. Where the fuck is its wrangler? Cthulhu-some used takedown. Cthulhu-some missed. It hurt itself with a recoil. This thing gave zero fucks and attacked solely by throwing itself at me using its own tard rage. Think fast. Use sled as shield. Insert Terry Crews meme here. The spirit of Terry Crews from White Chicks flows through me. Block! Block! Yeet the outer spud in the face with the underside of the sled. Outer spud is dazed. Now's my chance. What you are about to hear is considered top-secret, anti-tard guerrilla warfare tactics, developed and refined over 2 months of training with the drummer boy at the skate park, revised and adapted for Arctic environments. Stomp my way across the field, caveman onto the sled, build up some speed, ollie into the tard's face. For your consideration, the ollie-wop. Cthulhu-some goes down hard. Bomb down the hill, leaving him in the snow. Book it back home. Get inside, get warm, get online. Greet parents first and tell them that today was good despite being sent to school for no reason. Get online, message drummer boy, and inform him of this epic technique. Agree to meet up at the park nearby with the sled to show him. Go into the group chat with the Avengers and company. Stacy-chan is online too. Regale them with the epic tale. Be me right now. Regale you with the same tale. Finish writing chapter 3. Feel proud of younger me for pulling off an ollie-wop. The Britf Saga, Chapter 4. The Enemy Within. This chapter takes place the following year after Chapter 3, and is where the Great Tard War finally picked up. Be me. You know the drill. Be back from hibernation over Christmas holidays. We don't call it the holidays over here in England. Blame our stubborn heritage focus. Meet up with Stacy-chan in homeroom and generally chat. Things are going good. Starting to hang out exclusively every few days or so. See you later, losers.gif. Been spending more time at the skate park since last chapter. Started growing my hair out. Christ almighty, I remember how cringe those mops we had on our heads looked. No cringe, only spice.gif. Go to the first period woodshop class with Reggie and B2, the B team. Stop in the middle of the hall as we hear the degenerate shrieking of a tard. Oh shit.mp3. This tard wasn't as bad as some of the mutt downies I had encountered since the start of this story, but it was still pretty bad. Looked like some kind of ADHD hyperspaz. Every few seconds it'd jolt and try to run off from its wrangler. Thankfully, the majority of the tard wranglers in our country are either grumpy butch lesbians or bloated ogres of men. Likely tarded themselves through constant and direct contact with these living bioweapons. And had the foresight to put this casualty in the making on a toddler's leash. You know the kind, those little harnesses with a leash attached to them. Like for dogs, but they go around the torso of the person in question. Instantly go to code potato. Alert the rest of the Avengers via text. Thankfully, everyone was still out of class, and our school's policy was that the phones weren't allowed in class. Avengers are concerned. More information needed. Attend woodshop and begin work on end-of-year project. Everyone was tasked with making some sort of wooden gear-operated device. Chose to make a gear-operated potato peeler. Do you get it, .png? This is irrelevant, .simaris. End of class, start of morning break. Be me. Wish it wasn't me. Go to my school's Tard HQ. Be relieved that it isn't as spuddy as the nest. Meet with the drummer boy, inquire as to the new potato on the farm. Discover its name is Chris and that he's from the nest. Discover the school made an agreement with the one on the other side to accept some of their tards into the mainstream school. Who the fuck let Libby in here? Thank drummer boy and pay him with coke, a cola. Quickly report back to the Avengers on the new tard infiltration stratagem. Everyone goes to red alert. Agree that this must be dealt with quickly before they infest our school. Operation Spudwatch is a go. Monitor the hyperspaz for the day. Know your enemy. Think like well, don't think like this enemy, that's retarded. Report to the field beneath the village with the rest of the Avengers. Compile information. Chris, aka Hyperspaz, is wildly ignorant to his surroundings and seems to focus on grabbing and eating the first thing it sees in front of him, like a cannibalistic goldfish. Chris also hates music, no matter how quiet it is. Chris is only ever allowed off the leash whenever he needs to relieve himself. We were all surprised that it was house-trained. A plan is formed. Frame Hyperspaz in the bathroom at lunch. Task Patient Zero with the mission. The next day.png. Classes went on as normal and Hyperspaz was still there, but not for long. Lunchtime soon arrived and the Avengers soon assembled. We lurked out of sight. Scattered around the corridors that Chris occupied after he was fed. A few minutes later. Hey poo-poo! Game on.jpg. Carefully stalk Chris through the crowds. We work from the shadows so that we may serve the light. Stop once we've located the tard's shitbox. Deploying Patient Zero. While I can't give a true and detailed story of what went down in there, the noises were more or less enough to get an idea of what happened. Patient Zero went in and hid in a cubicle, waited a few seconds before flushing and walking out to the sinks, playing what I can only assume to be some trashy trap music. From that time, the Chavs, or Gopniks as they're known in Russia, had a massive hard-on for this genre. Sounded like shit-tier dubstep music for tards. We could hear this shit coming from outside, followed by Hyperspaz losing his shit. A series of loud bangs and Patient Zero freaking the fuck out. Thankfully, Patient Zero wore a full tracksuit and avoided infection at the hands of Hyperspaz. The Tard Wrangler went in and went apeshit with Hyperspaz. Hyperspaz is tied and hauled off. Don't see him for the rest of the day. Don't see him at all after that. Mission success. Head home and have a coke with the lads while playing Counter-Strike. Those were the days. The Britf Saga Chapter 5. Friends in low places. Friends in low places. Half a week after the Hyperspaz incident in the last chapter, we received some rather horrible news. Despite the best efforts to drive the mutt-tard menace out of our school, we were going to be playing host to more of them. This is badman.png. For the entire day, each year was called into an assembly to talk about our disability and discrimination. Years 7s got lucky and were called in first. That means the Avengers, too. Walk into the auditorium and sit at the back with the rest of the anti-tard crew. Word had gotten around about how Patient Zero had been targeted and attacked by multiple tards. Patient Zero is becoming something of a rallying figure in our group. Tons of Stacy's showing him sympathy and doing nice shit for him. Yeah, boy.mp3. Most ignore what liberal principal fuckpuppet says until... I'd now like to introduce you to the first of our friends from across the way who will be joining your classes. Tune back out after that, but instantly find myself disgusted by what I see. 9 tards, and after lurking in the shadows with a fellow lesser autist, another one walks by me. Looking up at him, I could see the dread in his eyes. He didn't want to be here any more than I did, nor did he think of himself as a tard. Yet here he was, being paraded around in front of everyone in my year, like some animal. In truth, I had met this kid in the summer before my first year in high school. For the sake of anonymity, he will be referred to as Soldier Boy, on account of his astounding knowledge of guns. Crazy, I know, a gun nut in the UK. He and I attended an open invitation tournament for what was, back then, a popular children's card game. centered around Japanese cartoon characters with absurdly pointy hair. We didn't know each other beforehand, but afterwards we had become pleasant acquaintances at the very least. If you know who I'm referring to and you know who I am, then hey, glad you're reading this. Activating targeting system. Targets identified, Gigatard and Biwi. 7 unidentified targets. More intel required. Assembly gets dismissed into morning break, and the Avengers, alongside Stacy-chan and the Stacys that have essentially fused themselves to Patient Zero's side, wait outside the auditorium at my request. Soldier Boy comes out, clearly looking ready to end it all. "You look like you just got put through the ringer, son." Soldier Boy is pleasantly surprised by my presence and walks over to greet me. Introduce Soldier Boy to the Avengers and to Stacy-chan. Spend morning break explaining what's been going on. Find out about the small minority of lesser autists and Aspies, much like him and myself in this school, who have been talking about us and our escapades, despite not knowing who was behind it all. I enlighten our new comrade. Soldier Boy is impressed. Soldier Boy wants in. Tell him to meet us behind the gym at lunch for his initiation trial. A couple hours later, arrive at the agreed location and find him standing there waiting. AvengersAssemble.exe. Spent the last 2 hours thinking of a way for him to really impress the others. I liked this guy, and I wanted him to be part of this war, but everyone else was skeptical after the assembly. Your mission, Agent Soldier, should you choose to accept it, is to rally the non-tards inside your school to our cause. Get them to put pressure on the tards in any way possible. Slap books, steal and break glasses. Trigger them. Report back the next time you attend with information on the state of the hive, and with intel on the rest of the tards attending the school alongside you. Proceed to dismiss the Avengers Assembly, and go off in different directions. Walk to my usual lurking spot with Soldier Boy and Stacy-chan. Been getting closer to her. Finally started holding hands and cuddling. Good times. Tell Stacy-chan about how Soldier Boy and I met while sitting by our lockers on the 3rd floor. Then it happens. Why? How? This Murica level of fat pig-orc-looking tard drags its greasy-looking pedo-stash ass down the hall. Looks like Jabba the Hutt became a neckbeard and made some Lovecraftian horror love child with Mama June. This thing doesn't even speak, just makes guttural groaning noises while it slobbers on itself. Try to ignore it. By the gods, the smell was terrible. This kid mustn't have bathed in the past month. The stench of shit, piss, horse jizz, and ass practically flooded the corridor. After my last encounter with the Rotbearer, I stored a bottle of Febreze and a bottle of Lemon Pledge in my locker. Sprayed the area around us with Febreze. The stench has been warded off for now. Jabba the Tard smells the Febreze and turns to face us. Oh god, it's touching itself. I need more Lemon Pledge. Fuck. Jabba's unholy offspring draws closer to us and makes more guttural groans. Agree that it'd be smarter to move away from this thing. Make haste, away from this abomination and the innumerable plagues radiating from its putrescence. Just as Stacy-chan gets up, "Yeah, pretty." Jabba tries to claim a Princess Leia, grabs Stacy-chan's skirt and rips it off. Stacy screams out as it happens and runs into the girl's bathroom. I'm pissed. Inner Coop awakens. Listen here, you inbred tater tot. You come into my school, you stink up my corridor, and you embarrass Soldier Boy, and you try to molest my girlfriend? I'm taking you down. Find first gear in my giant autist arm. You earn an upvote if you can tell me where this reference comes from. Punch this motherfucker so hard in his face that it implodes on his own jowls and neck rolls. This thing doesn't even flinch. Oh shit. Jabba is mad. We're in the Rancor pit now, boys. Enter Soldier Boy. Hey, you! Soldier Boy gets this absolute unit in a chokehold and does not let the fuck go. Blubberbait starts groaning and flailing about. Still hasn't let go of its mutant chode. Fuck, is this one of its kinks? The big bad Spud turns blue and keeps on flailing. I'm in awe of them both. Soldier Boy for being able to grapple this buttery motherfucker, and Landwhale Prime for being able to hold his breath this long. Grapplebreak.exe. The subject is loose. Code brown. Code brown. Things are getting desperate when suddenly a light from the shadows shall spring. Enter the Sentry. This guy is everything a Tard Wrangler should be, and at the same time, the most politically incorrect adult I've ever met, next to my own father. Can't be racist if you hate everyone, Doc. Sentry instantly takes control of the situation, putting the Tard on its front and cuffing it before addressing us both. Explain what happened to Sentry. Explain how the Tard ruined lunch for us. Sentry understands. Sentry throws mad shade on Fat Tard and the rest of his ilk, says hi to Soldier Boy. Sentry bids his charges farewell and walks off into the unknown, or as we know it, the stairwell. The Emperor protects. Lit. Proceed to rush to the bathroom and sanitize ourselves as though our existence depended on it. Realize that Stacy-chan hasn't come out of the girls' bathroom. Skirt is nowhere to be seen. What I do this day, I do for the good of my people. Return to my locker, Febreze bomb the entire corridor to get rid of the stink, retrieve my bag, retrieve gym shorts, return to boys' bathroom and switch from my black combat trousers to said shorts. Approach the girls' bathroom door and pause, realizing I walk where I am not welcomed. It was the early 2000s. It was a better time, a time where boys were boys and girls were girls, where men could be men and sex was still sexy. March bravely into the forbidden domain. It's clean. It smells nice in here. I am scared. I am confused. Hear Stacy-chan crying in one of the cubicles and knock gently. Console her from behind the door. Stacy-chan is spooked. I'm still confused. Offer her my own trousers and belt to wear for the rest of the day. And the children raise their open, filthy palms like tiny daggers up to heaven. Leave the bathroom after giving SC my trousers. She emerges a few minutes later. They look ridiculous on her, but I am thanked all the same. Confront the principal about the incident. I'm pissed. Stacy-chan is upset. Soldier Boy is a witness. Security cameras are checked. Principal fuckpuppet tries to pin it on me and the others. We were caught on camera at the site of the hyperspaz incident. Deny his insinuation as to the supposedly malicious nature of our presence. Threaten the fuckpuppet with contact being made to Ofsted and the police if nothing is done. Liberal fuckpuppet buckles and removes Fat Tard from the integration program. Get excluded for 2 days because of how I assaulted the fat fuck. Flip him off as I leave. Get a call from my mom going apeshit at me for attacking a Tard. Ask if Principal Fuckpuppet told her about the part where said Tard was not only unsupervised, but had also assaulted Stacy-chan and ripped off her skirt. Bomb is disarmed.mp3. Counter Tardist win.mp3. Spend the rest of the school day in town and meet back up with Stacy-chan, Lad, and the lads. Get asked if I got expelled. Correct them. Only 2 days exclusion. Reverence.gif. Fuckthepolice.mp4. Take Stacy back home. Be really close all the way there. Meet her parents and explain what happened. Stacy's parents are also Asian. They're also very nice. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.png. Let Stacy-chan keep my trousers and give them back tomorrow. March back home like a proud good boy. Get questioned about why I'm wearing shorts by my mother. Explain how I sacrificed my trousers so a woman may maintain her dignity. Mother daws at my do-goodery. Excuse myself and video game like a badass. Guys agree to forego the initiation for Soldier Boy. The Britf Saga Chapter 6. Know Thy Enemy. New intel received. Target 1. Bugsy. Bio. Low-class mutt-tard. 5'3", skinny, black. Looks like the D's nuts guy if he was bug-eyed. Got a mouth like a horse's. Target 2. Dump truck. Morbidly obese downy girl who wears an ungodly amount of pink. Some Mogren lover who wants to be a pretty marine. Target 3. The Uruk-hai. Bio. A morbidly obese Somalian mutt-tard. Hangs around a lot with Bugsy and harasses girls, kinda like the black equivalent of the My Fault twins. Target 4. The Furfag. Bio. Blatantly homo-aspy. Wears a rainbow foxtail on his belt, tries to nuzzle any guy that gets near him. Target 5. The Watcher. Bio. Downy with beer bottom lensed glasses. Nothing too specific, just a typical Downy. Target 6. Shitbox. Bio. Morbidly obese white Downy with zero bowel or bladder control. Spend the lunch period learning the Tard's routes and itinerary. Avengers are divided, 1 to each Tard. The Black My Fault twins have no Wranglers. Neither does Furfag and Shitbox. Dump Truck and the Watcher are under heavy protection, though. The 2 most placid Tards remaining, given heavy guard. Whereas 2 sexual predators, an annoying fur spaz, and a Downy with no bowel or bladder control walk free? Tardlogic.exe. Postpone offensive until next day. Formulate plans to defeat the Black Tards and the Scat Fetish Furfag tag team. The next day, infiltrate Tard HQ and sneak Furfag's personal laptop. Hack that shit. Username was user, password was password. Lose 1 million Dora Tards. Plug in USB stick containing the Die Furfag folder. Transfer exe file and a video into the hidden folder on his laptop. Quickly log out and plant the laptop back inside Tard HQ. Executable file causes a video containing loud, aggressive anime kitty porn to play whenever he logs in. It also disables the mousepad. Thank you, creepy weeb nerd friends in the AV Club. And now we wait. Skipping ahead 1 hour, autistic screeching resonates through the entire school building. Bomb detonated. Yes. People running out of the classrooms to see what's going on. Teachers can't stop them. Check this shit out. Whole classroom of students looking on in disgust at this furry spaz. The teacher is furious. Furfag instantly gets dragged off to Principal Fuckpuppet. Walk back to class as if everything is normal. Meet up with Avengers at break. Word travels quickly in the halls, as it would seem. Avengers know about the Tard watching kitty porn in class. Learn of how the Watcher was eliminated by Patient Zero. Patient Zero didn't like what the Watcher liked. Watcher mad. Watcher smash. Patient Zero smash harder. Break Watcher's glasses and his nose. Easy peasy. Dump Truck got herself in trouble by dry humping a kid in graphics shop. Pandemonium. Anarchy in the UK. Only the blacks and the shitbox to go now. Lunch soon arrives. Move into position at the agreed upon choke point for shitbox. Students passing through. Everything seems normal when 3 Tard Wranglers are accompanying not only Shitbox, but the blacks too. Fuck. Mission aborted. Learn that Principal Fuckpuppet has been watching me ever since my return from one of the teacher's pet students in the school. The game has evolved. Going to need to be smarter from now on. Cease all counter-Tard operations for the rest of the day. Begin work on new protocols. Return home and discover Fuckpuppet has contacted all of my compatriots' parents to inform them of their child's prejudice towards Tards. Do so in text form, the most cowardly way. Discover that they were grounded without their phones or computers for a week. But who will play RuneScape with me? Contact Drummer and Soldier Boys. Initiate Shadow Protocol. The Britf Saga Chapter 7, Revengeance. The next day, after we were rumbled by Principal Fuckpuppet, everyone turned up to school, only to find that they were pulled to one side. Liberal Fuckpuppet tells us that if we are seen fraternizing together during school hours, we will be given detention, and in my case, isolation. Eyesroll.gif. Walk off into the school and meet up with Soldier and Drummer Boy. Go over the plan with them one more time, before handing each of them a small bundle of unmarked envelopes. Tell them to go to different directions, and go to the bathrooms before carrying out their quote-unquote deliveries. Go about my business for homeroom and first period. Go to the bathrooms. Reggie, Lad, Patient Zero, and 2 other people we knew had gathered, just as I had anticipated. Drummer and Soldier Boy work fast. Explain to them all how we can't be seen together by Principal Fuckpuppet and his 3 deputies. Explain how we're going to take Fuckpuppet, his deputies, and the Tards down, in one fell swoop. Give one of the newbies a small medicine bottle full of powder, and an envelope with a black handprint on it. Tell him to read it when he leaves the bathroom and then burn it when he's done. Give the other 4 their blank envelopes and then quickly dismiss myself. For you see, R/Tardtails, I had foreseen the principal's plan to divide and conquer us. I had predicted that he would make it so we couldn't strike at the Tards without him seeing it. He had his own eyes, as well as the eyes of 3 deputies checking each suspect member of our team, frequently during breaks and changeovers, which is why I called in some extra help. The 2 newbies my friend had gathered will be referred to as Ghost and Goblin. On account of their similarly pale and sickly appearances, more on them later though. Spent second and third period glowering at our unwitting victims. They were scared. They dare not try anything around me or the other Avengers. Fortunately, I had planned for such a situation. The Black My Fault twins were as readable as any garden variety pack hunter. They won't attack when they're outnumbered or outclassed. Fortunately, they don't consider females a large enough threat. To that end, I offered my knowledge of martial arts, as well as a can of my mother's pepper spray to Stacy-chan. Ironic, an Asian who doesn't know any martial arts. IN before, "That's racist." Third period ends. The mayhem begins. Go to the toilet nearest me and sit in a cubicle, waiting for the second half of my new team. Enter Beaver, B2, Soldier Boy, Drummer Boy, and the newest members of our team, Riot and Rebellion. 10 people, 2 teams of 5, 1 ringleader for each, and 1 kingpin. The Black Hands have converged. The Brotherhood united. Everyone had something against the Tards, and everyone who had gathered longed for revenge. Handing Riot an envelope with a black handprint, I instructed him to read and then burn it, doing the same with the other 4. Quickly excuse myself and escape into the shadows. Really, I had joined a group of stoner friends who smoked under the stairwells. Out of sight, out of mind. This part is important, as it details my entire plan. Meticulously grab your pinboards and marker pens, because this is some Ocean's 11 type shit. With the story being set and the steps detailed, I may now reveal to you my grand scheme to destroy the Tards and the principal. By passing the first set of blank envelopes onto the 2 boys, I subverted all suspicion from myself. They were a call to arms. You see, I knew that everyone I sent letters to would check their lockers. One set instructed 5 people to come to the second floor, Central Junction bathrooms at break. The school is shaped like a T for the most part, with different wings and departments on each segment. Once the group met there, I had given them a series of envelopes to avoid any potential vocal records of our actions. After what Principal Fuckpuppet did, we were ready to be expelled for our cause. The newbies, Ghosts and Goblin, were instructed to sneak out just before a lunch break. Ghost, being as pale and as unnoticeable as he was given the task of spotting for Goblin, while the lunch ladies were on their cigarette break. While I didn't know about the pooping bandit at this time, I came up with an idea identical to his, diabolical in a murky, swamp-brown shade. For you see, R/Tardtails, the contents of the medicine bottle I had given to Goblin was a mild laxative that I had ground into a powder. From what I can recall, he dumped the entire bottle into the heating pans for what was being served that day, gave them all a quick and quiet mix, and then got out of there. A good lad. He earned his place amongst the Brotherhood. Ghost too. The other 3 were tasked with individually sabotaging the Tard's belongings. Reggie drew the short straw, and had to sabotage Shitbox's diaper supply. Fortunately, Tard HQ had left the diapers on a window, big enough to take items from. Like any self-respecting Nignog kid, he grabbed that shit and bolted it behind the tennis courts to burn them. Lad and Patient Zero were tasked with the My Fault twins. The plan for those was to stage a sexual assault. Lad and Patient Zero would stand on different branches of the complex, looking down towards Stacy-chan, as witnesses who would be waiting right in the middle of the Tard's trajectory. We all know how it goes from here. But you're thinking, you/the cushy. You essentially staged it so everyone who was involved was complicit with your original plan will be identified. This plan would never work. And you'd be right. Everyone I just mentioned would have been caught, were it not for my second hand. The first team were the ones tasked with the sabotage and elimination of the Tards. The second team were the distraction. I had tasked Riot with the most dangerous and risky of the tasks. To, as his name entails, start a riot in the schoolyard, by stirring all the different ethnicities against one another, and then lighting the fuse by throwing the first punch among the white crowd. This part went perfectly. It was the biggest of the distractions that we needed. Almost every staff member was out in force trying to break up the riot. The police were called. Rebellion's part in this plan was to set off a fire alarm. He was given a disguise and clothes to change in and out of. A small and rather paltry affair, but useless nonetheless, B2 and Drummer Boy drew the short straws in this distraction, and were tasked with taking a fall in the cafeteria by eating the laxative-spiked food. Soldier Boy's part was quite simply to alert the principal and his deputies to the riot. You can now start focusing again. Be me, Britf, listener of the Dark Brotherhood. Be chill with stoner friends at lunch for about 30 minutes, when suddenly, massive ruckus kicks off outside. Hear Soldier Boy looking down the corridors. Hear staff book it up the corridors. Radios sounding off everywhere, loud hailers being readied. This gonna be good, .gif. Hear Tard wailing from up the corridors, shitboxes ready to spill over. 2 Tard guards escort shitbox to the nearest bathroom. 1 skinny, weak female Tard Wrangler left to handle Bugsy and the Urukai. Takes them down the regular path. Right into Stacy Chan's path. Weak female Tard Wrangler. Weaker, prettier Asian female. Tard strength activated. Black My Fault twins grabbing their junk as they approach, slobbering like the brain-dead spuds they are. They get way too close to her, practically trying to grind themselves onto her. I am so sorry, little one. Thwack! Hiss! The Tards ree, as though they were told they weren't allowed any tendies anymore. Stacy Chan books it. So does Lad and Patient Zero. Then it hits them. You see, I'm not going to use this subreddit's tag again, we've used it enough times. The Tards aren't given their own personal meals in my school. They were made to eat with the rest of the normies in the cafeteria. And we all know what happened there. The Black My Fault twins simultaneously shit themselves into orbit. Code browns across the entire school. Bathrooms, hallways, the library, the schoolyard, all painted brown. The janitors handled the false fire alarm quickly despite the chaos. Thankfully, Rebellion wasn't captured. None of us were. I love it when a plan comes together. The Britf Saga, Act 1 Epilogue, The Aftermath. Be me, Britf, 2 weeks after the Brown Banquet. 2 weeks after the exile of all the Tards from my school. Regrettably, with the exile of the Tards, our comrade Soldier Boy was banished back to the Hive. His sacrifice will be remembered. Still meet up with him after school with the Avengers and the Dark Brotherhood. Need to make up a new name for the team. The Round Table? Roll up to the school with the Round Table. Sans Soldier Boy. The smell still hasn't left. The smell of shit, piss, sweat, shame, and disappointment in oneself. Smells like a Thursday. Walk into the schoolyard where the riot took place. There's still little dark blotches from the bloodstains. Walk through the halls. Brown smears in the carpets. They'd be replaced during the summer holidays. Enter homeroom to discover first period was cancelled, so that a long announcement could be made. Posted to each homeroom tutor by the dumb motherfucker himself. The details of it are sketchy in my mind nowadays, but it went along the lines of addressing everything that happened before the school was shut down for 2 weeks. Not only was there multiple arrests for the riot, but a minority of the students involved were also expelled. Most were Somalians, Pakis, and blacks, but a couple of known white trash kids were kicked out of the school too. I reveled in this discovery alongside the knowledge that until further notice, there will be no more Tards being imported from the Hive. The principal then went on to say that any information in regards to the event would be rewarded, and that if the perpetrators were caught, charges would be pressed. The principal was given absolute hell for what happened and faced multiple people threatening him with press coverage and police involvement after their kids suffered a terrible indignation. They demanded reimbursement on account of shit-damaged uniforms because of this. Uniforms were no longer mandatory in our school. Leave homeroom and have a long morning break with a round table at our usual crash space, the 3rd floor south corridor. Be laughing and joking about the whole thing. Suddenly, Principal Fuck Puppet storms into the corridor and looks to us before asking, "I thought I told you lot you weren't allowed to congregate." Feeling high and mighty on my grand victory, I turn and face him. "You seem to be saying a lot of things these days. As always, though, we don't plan on listening. Nice khakis. Were they white when you bought them?" The whole squad kecks out loud and Fuck Puppet flips his shit at me. "I know it was you. I know you had something to do with this, you stuck-up little punk, and I'm going to prove it." I stand there, smiling smugly at him. I wouldn't start throwing accusations about after everything that happened 2 weeks ago. Between the arrests that were made on your students, the massive health and safety violations, not to mention the health inspector's suspicion of poor quality food care, or the countless sexual assault charges made against the people you invited into this school, they might press charges on you for wasting police time, too. That earned me isolation for a week. I didn't give a fuck. I didn't turn up either on account of I had already won and had 9 witnesses at my back. He was already told by my folks to back the fuck off. My father was a very direct person. And 3, he can't contain all 9 of us at once. The rest of that year was quite peaceful, spare for the times I would take the bus home with a round table. Stacy Chan and I dated for a few months, but broke up on mutual terms. Agreed that it was fun sticking it to the tards, but we didn't have much in common beyond that. We stayed friends and stayed in touch all through secondary, but lost contact once we went to college. There will be more involvement from her in later chapters and acts, but this is what I'd like to call a preemptive closure. That being said, this is the end of the first act of the Britf saga. I'm going to spend a couple days off from posting to gather my thoughts and to probably fap to some obscure North Korean pornography, play some video games, and be human.